Hello, my friends, and welcome back. Thank you very much for being with me again today. I recommend you, from the bottom of my heart, a movie. I don't really watch movies, but when I was younger, I used to watch a lot of them. So, nevertheless, this movie I recommend it to you because it's a parody of how United States might end up if it continues the path it's going nowadays. And the movie is called Idiocracy. Maybe you watched it. It's a comedy. At least I laughed a lot. But it also makes you think and see a lot of things that are occurring right now and kept occurring. The trend goes towards that point that the movie is making. Now, I started with referencing this movie and talking about it because the article that I'm going to discuss today has to do with that, and which is, while other people are concerned, other countries are concerned with development and improvement and technology, we are here involved in finding out who's who, what's what. If we can, if I look at someone, I can tell what kind of person that identifies as and identifies as, and so on. The woke culture, whatever you want to call it. Not culture, it's a current. It's going to come and go. But nevertheless, in the Idiocracy movie, at the beginning, they show the scientists how they devolved from looking for cure of cancer, or the medical doctors I'm talking are people that are scientists. They were very concerned with people, the masculine erection, and they were looking at a orangutan and see, they were all happy about, oh, we found the right pill for erection, instead of trying to do their job as scientists and do something meaningful instead of that. So the same thing here. While we are with the woke current and other stuff like this, or let's say with the committee January 6th committee, and indicting this, indicting that, and looking for certain things to pay back, or witch hunting. These guys, the Russians, are doing certain things, and I'm talking about the hypersonic missile tests. No, we know Russia has hypersonic missiles. United States doesn't have. They claim that they acquire them, they have them, but we have here an article from Bloomberg which tells us that maybe they are more concerned with the erection of the orangutan than with defending us from any enemies. So Bloomberg reports on June 29th, 2022, that U.S. hypersonic missile fails in test in fresh setback for program. That means we're incapable of have them working. So probably they look at them, oh, that's beautiful, but they don't work. So that means zero. The Russians have them. Are you threatened about that? Are you concerned about that? No? Okay, well, maybe I am a little bit, because my scientists, this country that created so many things, invented and so on, innovated, can beat the Russians in what? In the hypersonic missiles? And Russia has it for what? For about 2 or 3 years already? Nevertheless, a flight test of a hypersonic missile system in Hawaii ended in failure due to a problem that took place after ignition, the Department of Defense said. Well, what do you want? So many, how do you call those, equity and inclusion? What do you expect? More of those, instead of hiring people with really that deserve to be over there. Why you know what I mean, right? If you don't, I can tell you stories that happen right here. The government hires certain people just because they belong to a certain group, not because they perform. Even Europe has said, what, at least 40% of the CEOs or something have to be women. Okay, if they deserve, they could be 100%. I don't give a damn. But why don't you do the same thing, for instance, in the medical school? At least 40% of the medical school, or at least not medical school necessarily, but the medical field should be men, at least 40%, which is not. Or in education, the same. I posted a video regarding that, but that's what you have when you have politics, ideology interfering with quality. No, man, I don't care if you're black, white, green, or whatever you are, fat, thin, I don't know, little people or tall people. I don't care. You do the job the best. You're the one for the job. You don't look for something else or improve. But nevertheless, Department of Defense, they got a lot of money. They have the biggest, how should I put it? Amount of money directed, by the government than any other country in the world, and they can freaking do a hypersonic weapon. What are they doing with that? I know what they do. I know what they do, but they do all kind of classes and courses to retrain sensibility courses for our fighters, and inclusion and diversity and equity and all that. So it's you know what I mean. Anyway, it didn't provide further details. Why would they? Of what took place in the Wednesday test, but said in a statement sent by email, the department remains confident. Oh, that's good if you remain confident. That is on track to field offensive and defensive hypersonic capabilities on target dates beginning in the early 2020s. Good. I mean, if you're confident, I feel better. I can go. Do we have them? No. Go to work. Get to work. Go and steal the information from the Russians or something if you're incapable. An anomaly occurred following ignition of the test asset. Pentagon spokesman, Navy Lieutenant Commander Tim Gorman said in the statement, program officials have initiated a review to determine the cause to inform future tests. He said, while the department was unable to collect data on the entirety of the planned flight profile, the information gathered from this event will provide vital insights. You better, but don't put your ideology into that. Make sure that you really do what you're supposed to. Conduct a real test and investigation of what the hell happened. But nevertheless, and put the most able people to do it. You know what I mean? Yeah. The Pentagon is feeling pressure to deploy hypersonic systems as rivals, including Russia and China and North Korea, are pressing ahead with the system. No, the Russians have them. They don't press ahead with nothing. Designated to evade interception by flying at more than 5 times the speed of sound and gliding on a maneuverable path to deliver nuclear warheads. China is investing heavily in hypersonic weapons, putting one in orbit in July of last year that flew 25,000 miles. That is 40,000 kilometers in more than 100 minutes of flight, according to the top U.S. nuclear commander. So the Americans were looking at it. Oh my God, these guys got it too. What about us? Well, I don't know. Hire people that should be capable. Or I don't know, maybe increase the level of the U.S. universities, all right? It's a zoo over there, just so you know. China is investing heavily. Of course it is. And then in January, North Korea conducted 2 separate launches of hypersonic missile systems that traveled several hundred kilometers. North Korea, those guys, who these guys here consider to be, I don't know, some... Really? And the United States could not? What? No. How much money? How much money do they get? The North Koreans compared with the oh, it's not about the money. What about what universities they have over there? The scientists. However you want to turn it, it's a failure, and we know exactly. They should hire some Chinese or some Indians to do the job, because it seems like we cannot do. You know what I mean? The American pool. Russia debuted a hypersonic air-to-ground missile in its attack on Ukraine. They even use it in fight. Adversaries don't have to meet the rigorous standards set under the U.S. Defense Acquisition System or face public scrutiny over delays and failures. The slower pace of U.S. and now they give us the reasons why, the justification, cover up. The slower pace of U.S. hypersonic programs prompted a number of heated exchanges with Defense Secretary Lloyd Austin, who testified in April before the House Armed Service Committees. You recently called called in the defense industrial community that we are involved in the hypersonics development as to how we can speed that up. Republican Representative Mike Turner of Ohio said, "We're behind our adversaries." Without denying that, Austin said, "We have to be careful because hypersonic it's a capability, sir, but it's not the only capability." He added, "I have engaged industry to make sure that they are learning leaning into hypersonic development." No! What is that? It's not the only capability. Did you do it? No. That was my question. How come we didn't? Well, because I'm in charge. Thank you very much for being with me again today. Stay strong, stay smart, look for the truth, be just, and feel safe.